The lights burn hot inside the Vodafone Event Center, and the air itself feels heavy, charged with expectation. Every seat is filled, every voice layered on top of the next, a restless ocean of sound rolling toward the ring. This is heavyweight boxing, where every mistake echoes louder, where every punch can rewrite a future. Judges take their places at ringside. The referee issues his final instructions, and the canvas waits, clean, silent, unforgiving. First through the ropes is Carlos Takam, a man forged through continents and conflict. Born in Cameroon, refined in France, Takam carries the scars of a long, brutal road. 35 professional fights, 25 knockouts, rankings across every major sanctioning body. This is not a gatekeeper. This is a test. Thick-set, powerful, patient. Takam walks with the calm of a man who believes the younger fighter has been brought here to be broken. Then comes JosephParker, 24 years old, undefeated. New Zealand's rising heavyweight hope. Trained by Kevin Barry, Parker enters with an unbeaten record built largely on promise, power, and controlled dominance, but not yet on adversity. Tonight, that changes. This is not a showcase. This is an eliminator in spirit, if not in name. A fight designed to answer one question. Is JosephParker ready for the highest level? Or is this where the climb stops? As gloves touch and the bell sounds, the crowd erupts because they understand what's at stake. Youth versus experience. Speed versus strength. Potential versus proof. And from the very first movement, it becomes clear, this will not be easy for either man. Round 1 unfolds cautiously, like a chess match played with fists. Parker, buoyed by the roar of the crowd, probes with his jab, light on his feet, trying to establish rhythm and range. Every movement he makes is cheered, every feint magnified by national pride. But Takam does not rush. He studies. He waits. When Parker steps just a fraction too close, Takam fires back, stiff, accurate punches that remind everyone why he's ranked among the world's best. The early minutes reveal the truth. Finding Takam is difficult. He's compact, disciplined, and economical, making Parker work for every clean connection. Frustration flickers briefly across Parker's face as counters meet him when combinations linger too long. The pace is measured, but the tension is real. By the second round, Parker begins to settle, throwing single shots with greater intent, mixing in the right hand, trying to keep Takam honest. The crowd senses it, rising with each exchange. Takam responds with aggression of his own, walking Parker down in bursts, testing his composure. There are slips, close calls, moments where balance teeters, but no knockdowns, just hard, honest heavyweight work. Parker's speed flashes, Takam's power looms. Each man learns something crucial in these early rounds. Parker learns this opponent will not fade easily. Takam learns the young Kiwi will not panic under pressure. The fight is finding its shape, and the center of the ring is becoming contested ground. As the middle rounds arrive, the tone shifts. Parker increases his output, punches flowing in tighter combinations, his right hand becoming a key weapon. He shows patience beyond his years, picking moments instead of forcing them. And when he lands cleanly, it's sharp, clean, snapping shots that score and disrupt. Takam, however, refuses to yield the narrative. He gives ground strategically, luring Parker forward, then fires back with heavy counters, especially the right hand, loading it with bad intentions. There are moments when Parker looks vulnerable after punching, standing just long enough for Takam to answer back. and those exchanges draw sharp intakes of breath from the crowd. Body shots thud into ribs, uppercuts sneak through guards, and the physical cost begins to show. Parker moves well, sometimes beautifully, landing while retreating, but each time he's tagged, it serves as a reminder. Defensive perfection is still a work in progress. Takam begins to close distance more aggressively, stepping forward, attempting to bully the younger man. And for brief stretches, Parker is forced backward, backpedaling, absorbing pressure. Sweat flies, breathing deepens, and the fight becomes less about flash and more about survival and control. The pace is demanding, especially for men of this size. The crowd remains engaged, sensing that neither fighter has complete command. Momentum shifts not by knockdowns, but by minutes, by who owns the ring, who dictates the tempo, who blinks first. By the later rounds, fatigue becomes an unspoken third fighter in the ring. Takam breathes heavier when pressing forward, his bursts of aggression shorter, his swings wider. Parker, too, feels the weight of unfamiliar territory. This is deeper than he's ever gone, against an opponent who refuses to break. Yet here is where Parker's growth begins. He reestablishes the jab, sharp and disciplined, snapping Takam's head back just enough to halt momentum. He throws flashy combinations in controlled bursts, then moves, forcing Takam to reset. Defensively, Parker shows improvement, rolling shots, stepping off the line, making Takam reach and miss. The French-Cameroonian warrior continues to load up, but many of those big right hands cut air, their power wasted. When Takam does land, Parker answers back, refusing to be overwhelmed. This isn't domination, it's adaptation. The crowd senses the maturity developing in real time. These rounds aren't explosive, but they are revealing. Parker is learning how to win when the knockout isn't there, how to manage a dangerous opponent over minutes instead of moments. Takam, for all his experience, cannot fully impose himself. Each time he threatens to take over, Parker responds, sometimes with movement, sometimes with punches, sometimes simply by standing his ground. This is heavyweight boxing stripped to its essentials. The final rounds arrive with urgency written on every exchange. Takam knows he needs something significant, a surge, a statement, maybe a knockout. He presses forward again, trying to close the gap, throwing solid punches with everything he has left. Parker does not retreat into safety. He stays with him, trading when necessary, firing back proper punches, proving he can absorb and respond. The crowd roars as Parker digs deep, his body language no longer that of a prospect, but of a contender being forged under pressure. He's tired, physically and mentally stretched, but never unraveling. Kevin Barry's influence is visible. Calm adjustments, composure under fire. Takam has moments of success, but never enough to subdue the younger man. Parker answers every challenge. In these closing minutes, it becomes clear. This is not about highlight reel violence. This is about resilience, about answering questions, about proving you belong. As the final seconds tick away, punches still fly, heavy and honest. And when the last bell rings, both men know they've been through something real. This wasn't easy. It wasn't glamorous. It was necessary. As the fighters return to their corners, chests heaving, the judges prepare their scorecards. The crowd waits, buzzing, replaying moments in their minds, Parker's sharp combinations, Takam's relentless pressure, the tug-of-war for control. This goes to the cards, but the verdict feels inevitable. Joseph Parker has weathered the storm. He has been tested in ways he never had before, and he has emerged intact. When the announcement comes, the applause confirms it. Parker gets the decision. It's not just a win, it's a statement. At 24 years old, he's proven he can go rounds with a world-class heavyweight, absorb pressure, adapt, and still impose his will. Carlos Takam walks away without the victory, but with respect intact. He did what he was meant to do. He pushed the prospect into deep water and made him swim. On this night, Joseph Parker didn't just win a fight, he answered the questions hanging over his career. He showed toughness, intelligence, and heart. In the unforgiving landscape of the heavyweight division, that matters. The journey continues, but after this night, one thing is clear. Joseph Parker belongs among the serious contenders, and the rest of the division has been put on notice.